How we doing, everybody? Happy Saturday! It is Saturday. We are not. We gotta get the hat on. There we go. Now it feels like a live stream. Happy Saturday! I am your host, as always, Fam and Fam Studios. How are we doing tonight? I already see we got 5 people chilling in the group. Chilling here already, waiting for the show to start. So let's get right to that. Let me know if the music's too loud. We got Bjorn here, of course. Bjorn is letting us know that he's going to be in and out due to a storm. Again, Bjorn, please be safe. Keep your phone radio charged. If you don't have a basement, I'm sure you know how to deal with a tornado, but anybody watching, middle room or basement, if you have no basement and no middle room, get in the bathtub, cover yourself with cushions from your couch. All right. And look at that. Bjorn is taking care of himself. Defiant Outer Rim, glad to see you here tonight. Thank you for joining us. Red Foo made it in. Blood Honey said, I feel like I just saw you. I feel like we spent the day together, and I'll actually show off some of the stuff that I got today before we get started on this. But thank you guys so much for being here. Tonight we're doing super chats. If you do a super chat, even the cheapest one that's there, excuse me. We're doing super chats, and they're going to give TRE-ATSs to the dogs and Snowflake. The other 2 cats are off on their own adventure. Snowflake's chilling by the door. Jason Jensen, how are you tonight? I'm going to go switch to the overhead and show you guys off. First, I want to show you a big Amazon WTF. I opened up a package, and they've got to start taking care of their stuff. So give me just a moment to switch cameras for you. Here we are. Got a nice view of my chest burster here, so that's going to get you. Mic is not terrible. It sounds a little canny. Have you tried not listening to it? Is the music too loud? Oh, thank you, Bjorn. All right, well, we're going to do this then. Come here, doggos. Come here. Can you? There we go. Mama Rosie, sit. Mr. Stark, sit. Good boy. Come here, come man. Sit. Oh, what a good boy. You're so good. Say thank you, Bjorn. Oh, thank you, Bjorn. All right, we're going to put that up there. Thank you, Bjorn. Appreciate that so much. All right. So here's what happened on Amazon today. I had ordered 2 of these because they were on sale for like, I don't know, $11. I love this figure. Like, I think this is a fantastic base figure. Got my first one, opened up the remaining package. It came like this. Figure on top of the card back, like face like this. Beat to hell. Like, beat to hell. What's going on, Tuna On, right? Thank you so much. And yeah, please hit the like button if you're not subscribed already. But they beat it to hell. And then I'm like, okay, that's weird. I've had cards like pop off clean. This one looks like it was torn off to fit in the package, but it was a huge box, right? Cards all creased. The back is scuffed to hell like somebody skipped it across the floor. Like, I don't understand what happened. The figure seems to be fine. The excessive, 1 or 2 of the accessories are there. I don't know where the rest of the accessories are. I'll have to double check the box. But that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. I wouldn't sell that to anyone. But so I got a couple of those. Those are going to be goons because they look great without the robe. I think that robe is just not meant for this figure. What's going on, Rad? How are we tonight? Let's see here. So I got 2 of those from Amazon today, but I just wanted to show you guys. Those were bizarre. Rad, how did the show go today? I didn't get a chance to watch it. We were on the road. We went down to Stormville Flea Market in Stormville, New York, and I scored some nice stuff. Thanks for the segue. But yeah, let us know how that show went, because I do want to watch. And also, again, everybody, remember the super chats tonight are for treats for the dogs and the cats. But first thing I spied while I was there was a Y-Wing for $7. $7. You had a great stream of the Brits. That is awesome. We love our international friends when they join us. So they had a Y-Wing for $7. which is cheaper than the last one I bought. It didn't come with Kanan, but there was a figure jammed in there, so they were like, hey, you can keep the figure. It's one of the more articulated Saga, I think, bodies for the pilot, but the head is a Han Solo that they just kind of mashed on there, so it's like crazy spinny head. But I'm gonna replace that, customize that, and I've got another pilot buck, so that's really cool. And I think it's a lady body too. Yeah, that's a woman's body. So female pilot's body with Harrison Ford's head. So that's something. Yeah, there's breast on the upper torso, and it's got a narrower waist, so I guess that signifies a lady. So yeah, nice body there. But I was able to unstick it as soon as I started fussing with the thing. So it's got a Y-wing, doesn't have the landing gear, but I don't need the landing gear. I'm actually thinking about turning this body into a custom craft, custom ship. So that's cool. Harriet Ford. Sure, if that's what they want to call themselves, or she wants to call herself Harriet Ford, that also works. But that was a cool find. Really inexpensive. Like I said, $7, and then the figure was marked for $3, so I basically got $10, $3 off, which is cool. We love that. And yes, we love the flea market. Yeah, the Y-Wing Scout comes with Kanan. I actually bought one of them with the landing gear and Kanan and his lightsaber, all the accessories and everything in it. For I think I paid $10, so this worked out. Paid $1 for, and I'm not being braggadocious about the cost. I just know we all like savings, and I'm a slut for savings. So picked up this dude for $1. Guy had $2.50 or something on him, and I was like, "How much you want for him?" He goes, $2. I said, "Would you do one?" And he said, "Sure." Yeah, Bjorn, please be careful, my friend. Keep us in. I know we're not the #1 priority. But please keep us in the loop and let us know that you're okay. I'll keep you in my thoughts, my friend. I don't want anybody to have a bad time, and it's unfortunate about that. Yeah, Lack, and whatever this accessory is on Lack's arm, I think is the G.I. Joe toy, maybe? But what was funny is the guy's like, you'll need somebody to drive the Jeep. And I'm thinking or he said, oh yeah, sure, I'll take $1. He needs somebody to drive the Jeep. And I was like, oh, okay, he's paying for his gas money. I didn't realize I was holding a Jeep that I had bought. It didn't click in my brain. For $10, I got the 18 Jeep. This one's got the actual working winch. The reason I picked up another one of these is I'm actually going to use the tires and to mold and cast a tire to make back tires for the Jeeps that I have in my motor pool, my Jurassic motor pool, because they all have a back tire except for one, I think. And I'm also going to swap the chassis and put it on a different Jeep so that one's got the actual, working tow hitch. But inside are some figures that I managed to get today. Person gave me, I think they were 3 for $5 or something like that. And what I managed to get was this goofy thing. We all know this figure. We don't like it. I'm going to pop the droid head off and the backpack off and be sure to turn it into something else. But, the classic battle droid from episode 2 where, 3PO goes through the conveyor belt and winds up dressed like a fool and turns into a Roger. And, probably put a better backpack on him, but I figured for 3 for $5, hell yeah, nary I see these anywhere. So I got one. I got one of I think this was a Death Star gunner without his helmet, if that is correct. But I figured it's an extra $1 in a black outfit. It's got the kind of clone head on there that they were doing for a little while. And then this one. It's the Grinch, man. Why would I not have the Grinch? So it's the Grinch and Lederhosen from the movie, and now he's going to be able to come with Santa Claus, because I have a custom Santa made for the holiday surround gimmick. Like, I was genuinely pleased when I saw that. I was like, hell yeah, that's great. Because I saw the green hands, and I'm like, is that a Rhodian? Because it's got the long, you know, fingers, and I scooped him up, and it was the Grinch, and I was like, oh, hell yeah, this is going in there. He's going to get repainted, going to get a nice wash to bring out those colors in there. But that's a great find. Cowman and Stark, would you leave my t-shirt alone? Thank you, sir. I'm sorry, Stark, I was believing you was Rosie and Cowman, and then the guy that sold me the next figure I'll show you gave me that card with the stands from the Black Series for the large figures. I didn't want it, but he was like, oh, no, take it. You're a collector, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. So I set aside the base pieces, and I'm going to use these as, like, framing for something. I don't know. But I thought that was cool. Something for free. Always appreciate free. And then $5. I got a carded Hondo. That's going to get, you know, popped off and used. But we love a carded Hondo, so yeah, it's exciting times. And that was, you know, pickups today. There were a couple of Jurassic things there aside from the Jeep that I kind of eyeballed, but it was mainly like things like Raptors, which I've already got a shit ton of. A lot of Jurassic Park 3 stuff from when Hasbro had the license. So it was good to see those, see that they're still making their way through flea markets and stuff. But I was able to pick up some things, so yeah. And we do love to see that Ant made it in. Ant, how's it going? So yesterday we left off. Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, the Hondo Buck is great, and I've seen people swap his arms off after they take the jacket off, and it's almost like a new figure entirely. Oh, he's looking at the watch. Woo. He's timing you. So we left off yesterday, and this is where we had this guy. I didn't do any real work on him, aside from cleaving his jaw off, so he looks like a little gremlin now. And he's like, yes, I'm here for the dinosaur stuff. I am here to go to Jurassic Park. And what I wanted the jaw for was because I started fiddling around with his head. I started thinking about how I wanted to proceed. And I want it to have a dinosaur-esque profile for the mouth, right? So I want that that kind of jawline there, and I'll connect it with the tissues and all that stuff when I start doing the sculpting. But I thought that that would be a good move. Now, my thought is, don't you eat that? My thought is, I can make a cut, and I can try and finagle this like this on the angle, and I think that'd be cool. I think I can make that work. But then I have the other thought of, what if I cut this one chest right there to match where this guy is. So basically he'd have a higher pose, and that would allow me to get a more regal look. But I think that would take away the Velociraptor profile that I wanted to have. So I think the great thing is I got like 4 of these sets. It was the set that had Crouching Raptor, the Tall Raptor, When the Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth, John Hammond, and Ellie, I think, came in the set. And so I got a bunch of these, and then they went on clearance, and I got a couple, so not too worried about sacrificing these Raptors. Let's see, we got Canadian thunderstorms that are deadly. Your hydroelectric is flickering. You could say, oh, damn. Damn. You could say, damn. It's flickering, and then Tune on Rye can confirm. I've never experienced a Canadian thunderstorm. So let's do that. Let's, it looks like, in theory, I should be able to violently pry this man's head off the top. Let's get out our X-Acto knife. And I can tell there was a cat up here messing around. I'm not going to name any names, Snowflake, because there's stuff that's tipped over that she likes to play with. So what I'm going to do here is, if you can see, there's a split seam there on the figure, and then the remainder part of the jaw connects to the other half of the buck. So I'm going to go ahead and make that incision there, cut that to parse it away from the rest of the buck, and then hopefully we should just be able to follow that line right there and pop that dude's head off, because I want to use the meat. Flatboard. That is fantastic. The Bryce Dallas Howard one came with the Dilophosaurus, correct? I actually like that Dilo. I set him with the Raptors up there. But yeah, that's amazing. Alright, so basically I've got to cut my line here. So follow that. And just sliding that blade along. And one of the other fun things we did today, which was interesting, is anybody who hasn't seen Fallout, if you're like don't want spoilers about filming locations for things from the trailer, I guess like plug your fucking ears. In 3, 2, 1, we went to the filming location for the Red Rocket, and it was also a gas station that appeared in John Wick 3. And it is a completely functioning regular, what was it, a Sunoco? Oh, they're way more, yeah, they're way bigger in real life. They kind of solved that in the third Jurassic film, the third World film, by having a pack of them attack somebody. But I digress. Back to the Star Wars and stuff, or the Fallout. But yeah, it's a completely functional gas station, and like there's not even a sign up or like a placard or photos of the actors or anything. Like it's just they don't want to be known as that gas station, I'm guessing. That's their deal. I know, like when we went to the Quick Stop, which is, if you watch the Kevin Smith movies, any of the View Skewed-verse movies, the Quick Stop is synonymous with Jay and Silent Bob and Clerks, and they embrace it fully. They've got like a shrine to Kevin with pieces of things that he's given them, notes that he sent them, thank yous and stuff, and like they totally embrace it. They actually had like shirts made up with the Quick Stop logo on it that are paying homage to the movie outfits without being a direct copy, so that they could support and show that they're the location where the movies were made. And this place just didn't seem to want to be known as that, and the guy behind the counter just seemed like he wanted to continue working and do his thing. But yeah, it was really cool to go to the place that was in the movie and see that location. It's so close to a place that we constantly go to. So there we go. Look at that. That is just Kanoko. Do you have a Stronk? What is that? Oh, it's bath time. Pardon the state of my bed. Did you give him bath, Rosie? Oh, what a sweet lady. Right. And I'm going to get a little violent here because that seems to be stuck on something. Oh, alright. So this is fascinating. I've never taken one of these Raptors apart. I took apart a couple of JP3 Raptors and tried to do some head and neck swaps on them. And that was like pulling fucking teeth because they're mostly really rigid, sturdy plastic. You had to get the Dremel involved, and I don't recommend it. The Raptors that Mattel released are way better way better size than the GT3 Raptors. And I think it's cool that the new Nedry, I can actually tell you what kind of gas station it is, because I have pictures. I probably should have uploaded them as a slideshow in the chat, or the thing for the show, but it's a Gulf station. But yeah, I guess I can turn the phone sideways. Yeah, that's shitty. Yeah, it literally is just a working regular gas station, and yeah, it's a Gulf station. I digress. Anyhow, back to the Jurassic thing as we talk about me cutting this guy apart. One of the Raptors that's coming out with a Nedry that is a basically step, it's like Wave 2 figure that they're paying homage to, that's coming out at Target for the 30th anniversary line, is the Raptor that comes with it is actually a homage to a JP3 paint job. So I like that Mattel is paying homage to the older lines, the other companies that held the property. We got Tuna, we got Rad, we got Bjorn, we got Fat Redfoo, we got Famine, we got that Ant Guy, we got Blood Honey Sin. It's a rogues gallery for sure. What's Meg up to? Why isn't she here? She should be partying with us. Alright, so let's oh, that'll work. That will work, kids. Cool. What I'm gonna do is oh, she's here too. Hi, Meg. Hola, ¿cómo estás? And everybody's like, oh, she parlez-vous espagnol. I don't know. I'm just weird. You're honored to be on the short list and honored to be on the short bus. Don't forget. I'm kidding. That's terribly rude. Just as a temporary placement experiment. Oh, and if Rad is still here, he didn't wander off. I actually decided what I'm going to be doing with the taller of the three, or the taller of the bookshelf that you gave me. This guy here, I'm actually going to be mounting it inside like a little gas station and putting a cover over it so that people can open it up. And I'm going to have some of the frozen, the Galaxy's Edge Cokes and like weird ice things and stuff like that in there, and use that, put advertisements and stickers and all that stuff, and use it like a counter ice cream place. And where's Pirates? Because I know Pirates was online a little bit. If he's here, oh, look at that! Look at that! See, I antagonize until people show that they're in the chat. That's the game that I like to play. It's the short bus, but it's got a great drivetrain on it. Define. I kind of want to throw that on again because I've been talking about it recently, and I really enjoyed that movie. I went and saw it opening night, saw it with a bunch of buddies of mine. Just had a really good time with that. I also went and saw Predators on opening night, and that was another one that was just like, damn, this is so fun. That's probably my favorite Predator movie, to be quite honest. And Red is driving the short bus. I feel like Kenny is driving the short bus because she keeps me in line, and she's a better driver than me. So I feel like she should be in charge of the driving. But yeah, I'm going to make a little noise, so I'm going to mute myself here. We'll listen to the tunes for just a second. So drives like a cop. Do you like get right behind people and keep your lights on and make them really uncomfortable and then drive past them? Oh shit, much like that popular Eminem song back in 2003, I Forgot About Prey. Oh wait, he forgot about Dre. And it wasn't 2003, it was 2002. It was my junior year. Sophomore year. Prey was filmed outside. All right, whoa, we're gonna have some conversations here. Prey was filmed outside the city you live in. Productions. Did you buy the shirt? Please tell me you purchased the shirt. Because like they go on. I'm a member of the biggest online prop selling thing, and a lot of people will sell studio shirts and stuff like that, and they're always asking like stupid money, but it's always like, yeah, we found them at a thrift store. Know a lot of people bag on AVP. I don't know why people. Why didn't they? I know people shit on movies. Banter was hilarious. Prey is untouchable. Not always. Okay. Oh, thank God. If you ever decide to part with it, I would be glad to purchase that from you. Yeah, Prey was fucking phenomenal. Gonna mute myself again. What I had to do there, if you saw me, is the neck peg actually broke off inside of here when I dropped the figure, which is why I had this spare head in the first place. So the neck peg broke off, and I had painted over it with black, and I didn't realize that. So when I went to sink the drill in, the neck peg started spinning. So what I've done there is I just cut a little groove in so that the drill has something to hopefully catch and go in there. Good. And Predator movies in early history. Dude, if Predators showed up where there were cavemen, they just beat them to death. Not the cavemen, the Predators. Like they would. I've got a couple ideas for period pieces. One that was making the rounds, which was great, was that guy that does all the movie pitches where they're like high on cocaine. Does them like Mad Libs, where he does he mentioned doing a samurai one, and I would love to see that. Yeah, Badlands, and I'm wondering if it's actually going to take place like in the desert, in the Badlands. God damn, you son of a bitch. Very fun channel to watch. Well, thank you, Jay Dioramas. Welcome. We usually do the streams on Tuesdays, but I have been kind of on a roll. I had a little time tonight. After I got home, played with the dogs for a bit, used up, and I like hanging out with these guys and making new friends, and we talk about dioramas, customs, toys, and all that stuff. Yes, and that's the thing, is like that's one of those things, is there was the Yakuza guy who sword fought, but there was also the samurai swords in the trophy room, which is telling me that these predators did come to Earth during the Edo period. I know you probably hit that incorrectly for feudal Japan, but feudal Japan sounds awesome, like a period of Japanese time, excuse me, where there was just fruit everywhere. There we go. Headphone warning. Sorry. Should have muted myself. That was rude of me. That was rude. I'm sorry. If anybody gets overstimulated by loud noises, I do apologize. That was ridiculous of me. That is one of my gripes when I'm watching, somebody work on something. You can absolutely hit the mute button. You don't have to blast that. Jesus, famine. Be better. So, I'm going to use a toothpick for now for the neck peg, but I will move to something a little stronger. Perhaps 2 toothpicks. Coming here for centuries. Heat and conflict. Yeah, I've got a pitch for one set during World War II. You know what? Fuck it. While I am a writer, I could absolutely write a fan fiction, but I am 1000% certain that I don't have the clout to, I don't have the clout to ever get attached to a project like that at this point in my writing career. So I will give you guys my pitch right now. This is, and you're all witness to, this will be up online. This was my pitch for a World War II Predator film. We start out the film with a French resistance fighter, and he stumbles into a scene of absolute carnage. We're talking, he goes to the meeting, there's dead Nazis everywhere, but there's also dead French fighters everywhere, and it looks like the last of the French fighters. He put up a good fight, but he's dying. He's laying there, and he says in French to him, he's like, you know, they came from nowhere. They came from nowhere, and then he passes away. This guy's like, God, you know, he rolls somebody and pulls the information that they had from the meeting, and he's, you know, he says, I got to get this out of here, you know, kind of lets the audience know. And he starts to go, and there's a gunshot crack rings out. He drops, there's a sniper, and we find that this sniper is a Nazi sniper, and he's trying to kill this man. He looks like he's seen a fucking ghost. He's sweaty, he's in a church tower. He looks terrified, and he's just like muttering to himself in German. I can't believe it. It's this war's getting to me. So as the story progresses, as this man tries to make his way through, more troops come in. He can't get to a radio, and they start getting picked off one by one. Our French friend takes advantage of this and books it, and he goes to a synagogue in France, and he meets with someone inside the synagogue, and he passes them the information, and he's like, where's so-and-so? He was supposed to bring this paperwork and to the rabbi, and the rabbi's, you know, like, where are these people? And he's like, they're dead. They're all dead. And he goes, what do you mean? And he says, well, I walked into the room at the hall to meet them, and they were all dead. One of them said, you know, it came from nowhere. It came from nowhere. And this rabbi, he gets all uncomfortable and kind of, he pulls the man aside, and you can hear this gunfight going on outside. And you start to realize that this gunfight isn't a gunfight. You're hearing gunshots, but you're not hearing return fire. You're just hearing thumps and screams. The rabbi looks out the window, and, you know, the sniper shoots a crack shot, and the window breaks a little bit, and the rabbi looks, and you just see this shadow, this dark shadow moving through these Nazi troopers and killing them, and it gets hit, and you see a little bit of the green blood, and that's the first idea that we know that it's a predator. Right? This is the first clue that it's a predator, but we're still not sure because the movie title isn't anything related. Now, this predator starts moving through, and we kind of start to see the way he's throwing the bodies, that it's reminiscent of what happened in the room where this man was. And the rabbi grabs this guy, and he goes, do you know what that is? Do you know what's happening out there? And this guy's like, I don't. I swear, Rabbi. I wanted to get you the information. I'm trying to help the resistance. I don't know what's this one of our guys. And the rabbi's like, no, this was something my father told me about. This is something we prayed for. We, you know, in temple, these Jews, these Nazis, they hate us Jews, and we've been praying for something strong to come and help us win the fight. And my father told me that when it comes, it will be a dark form made of stone and clay, and it will do whatever we want. And we've been dying for someone to come and fight and help us get these Nazis, and it's what they call a golem. And so these Nazis that are moving into this town, because they're like, hey, we can't reach our guy on radio, no one's responding, there's a firefight, we're seeing dead bodies everywhere, our guys, there's no French people, this town was supposed to be an easy take. They start rolling in tanks and artillery and some of their best, because they call them the SS. They want these guys to go in there and like wrap up this French freedom fighting thing that they think is happening. So our guy is like, oh, it's a golem. He's thinking like this is a religious thing. So he's paying attention that it's only going after the things that are, again, shooting at it, trying to run it over the tank, all that stuff. So he tries to leave the synagogue. Again, the sniper's pinning him down. The sniper seems fascinated with getting him, and we go back to the sniper. And the sniper is watching this stuff happen. He's like, I'm imagining it. This cannot be real. I need to kill this guy and finish my mission. And every time this starts to happen, the sniper keeps getting distracted. And so our French freedom fighter, he decides to use this to his advantage. He goes and he slides behind piles of bodies, and he raises, the dead Kraut's hand with the gun in it, and shoots a couple of times. And the predator turns and fires at him, and he's like putting the pieces together, like whatever this golem is that's come here, it's shooting at people that shoot at it, it's attacking people that it's attacking at it. And so he waits, and the sniper falls back because he's got to reload. He's running low on ammunition. We see he can't get to a radio. The stairs are destroyed in this church tower, and this is all going on, and this French guy's paying attention. He sees that this predator, now that he's taking these people out, he's doing the classic, like, drag them off, skin them, hang them up in a tree, and like from poles in the village and stuff, and he's walking around, and we get the overhead view, right? We get the sniper's view, and he's seeing this, and he is just freaking the fuck out. And if you know anything about World War II, a lot of the Nazis were hopped up on amphetamines because that's what they were given. So were the U.S. troops, but like the Germans really relied on it. And so he's taking these amphetamines and trying to keep himself awake, and he's sweating, and he's commenting to himself, like, I haven't eaten in 8 days. It's got to be my mind playing tricks on me. This is a horrible, horrible thing. This is a nightmare. This war is hell. These damn Jews, whatever they've done. And I want to make sure that the Nazi is not sympathetic. I don't want sympathetic Nazis. I hate that shit in movies. This dude's a bad fucking dude. But he's all strung out. The fog of war is getting to him, and now he's seeing this nightmare. And this predator starts taking trophies, and we see him taking trophies, and this guy kind of is like, I don't think this is a religious thing. It's not really a mark of a religious man to steal things from the dead in the war. If I can use this thing to keep that sniper busy, maybe he'll kill the sniper, and the rabbi can get out of here with this information. And so basically we get that trope of the Predator movies where the character starts to figure out, like, here's my attack plan, here's what I'm going to do. And basically he starts baiting the sniper and baiting the Predator at the same time, and it becomes this cat and mouse game of him trying to navigate all this fighting away from the rabbi so the rabbi can leave. And every once in a while we cut to the rabbi looking out the window, and he's praying, and he's, talking about the golem, and maybe we get flashbacks to his childhood when his father was telling him. He's like, Papa, tell me the story again. Tell us about, back from the homeland, the monsters, and the dad tells him, people used to want to make a golem out of clay, and it would basically do their bidding for them. It would do whatever work they needed around town, or if they needed help. My Hebrew folklore is not 100%. I was going by this with the folklore that I've been told by my Jewish friends and my friends from, I know people from Israel, and just bits and pieces of that, but also the true, I say true, I'm agnostic at best. I don't believe any of that shit, but the true tales of, like, the Jewish culture, and they would make clay models and talk about them and say that they were golems, and they would want to bring that person or body to life. And basically this priest, this rabbi, starts to kind of blame himself because he's been praying so hard with his people, and we kind of get flashes to that and the war going on and all this stuff, and then we hear the whisperings of what the Nazis are doing and loading people into trains and all that stuff. And all this is going on, and we get our main character, our French freedom fighter, and he's navigating through these broken, burned out buildings, and he's starting to see that the Predator kind of struggles with the fires that are around there. The Predator has a tougher time hitting his targets, so he goes for, like, bigger blows and stuff. And this guy's like, okay, I'm going to use these expensive liquors that the Nazis haven't looted from these, this bar, and I'm going to, make Molotov cocktails, and I'm basically going to create a wall of flames, bait this sniper out so he shoots at me, gets this Predator's attention, so he stops and he drags one of these bodies off, and he tears the Nazi jacket off, and he puts that on, he puts the hat on, and he picks up a Luger, and he steps out, and he starts throwing his Molotov cocktails, and he's making this essentially half circle across in the street. And the movie's contained because a lot of World War II fighting was contained especially when they walked through France. They fucking walked through France. The French gave up like that. It's one of their biggest downfalls, and people make fun of them, but they are a well taken care of fighting force now. The French are amazing at warfare. Like, they learned, like, after World War II in Vietnam, they're like, yeah, we're never going to be these guys again. But I digress. So it takes place in this, like, city block, and he makes this big half wall of flame in front of the synagogue so that the rabbi can go, and he starts firing at this predator to get its attention, and the predator immediately marks him, and so he makes sure that he sees him in this Nazi uniform and ducks into this fiery place and goes in the buildings. And again, he's using underground tunnels that they have to get around and communicate. You can see like Stars of David and things like that people have written on the walls, Yiddish sayings and stuff that basically, the fight is here, we're going to keep fighting, things in French, stuff like that, borrowing from like the lore of World War II and the underground resistance that happened. And the sniper comes and starts shooting into the buildings and stuff, and now this guy's underground, essentially, our resistance fighter. He's underground, he's out of the way, and this predator basically is now baited by this Nazi that's shooting, and he's like, Nazi uniform, does his little, his biomask, sees this guy up in the tower in the Nazi uniform. Finally, this guy is so tweaked out, he exposes himself, and this predator makes it his goddamn job to end this guy, because he's starting to put the pieces together. The sniper's like, oh, he's the last surviving warrior, he's really good, and it becomes this fight, and this predator is making his way, literally climbing up the side of the building, because we've seen that they can, stick a spear into the side of a building and shit, and this Nazi is running out of ammunition. He throws his sidearm down because he's out of bullets for that. One of the first things, and he's like fighting this Nazi gets him, kills this Nazi, and it's bloody and it's great, and fucking the audience goes crazy, takes his trophy. We see our French fighter, he makes his way out, again, throws on a Nazi uniform, approaches a tank detachment. He's like, you guys got to go this way here. There's a sniper caught in a tower. He's having a bad time. Make sure you go down this block, though, because there's resistance fighters in the alleyways, and I guess there's some Americans, too. You're going to want to be careful. So they start sending Nazis in waves, and we see the rabbi. He makes it away. He gets to give his stuff away, and we see this predator fucking mowing down crowds left and right. And it's a little bit of revenge porn, let's be honest. The spaceship comes, the predator leaves, he takes his trophies, he looks at it, he's kind of disgusted, he throws it. Maybe he takes an SS dagger or something, because that seems to be like the hot item, and basically scratches off the swastika, because, all right, well, these guys ain't shit, but this dude was kind of tough, and puts it in his trophy room and goes, we got a World War II movie, and it's called Gollum. You never, in the trailers, you don't bill it as a Predator movie. You bill it as literally, oh, there's a Gollum that's tearing apart these people. It's kind of like a historical fiction, a little bit of magic type movie instead of sci-fi. You lean on that, so that halfway through the second act, when you finally see that, like, oh, fuck, there's green blood. Like, is this a Predator movie? Kind of like at the end of, instead of doing it at the end like they did with Split, where you're like, oh shit, this movie takes place in that universe of Unbreakable. Like, you could do that and really throw people for a loop, and put them on the edge of the seat and kind of turn the trope, because like we got Predator and we have Prey, and then we do something where it's like Gollum, and you could do the samurai movie, and like you could do all these different historical incidences, and it doesn't have to be a what's the word I want to use? It doesn't have to be a major historical battle that this Predator was involved in, because you don't want to take away from the actual history and things that happened in the war. The real sacrifices could be a fictional town or whatever, but it could just be like a little story about a French freedom fighter and his alien encounter, and this rabbi's belief that this is the golem that him and his people have been praying for to come and help them. And I think that'd be a badass movie. I really do. And I hashed it out, and I tweaked the story a little bit a couple of times, but I'm from Famine Studios. I don't have the chop. I know one Hollywood writer that I'm, I'd say acquaintances slash. Holy shit! If you're still in the chat, Blood Honeyson, let me know if it's okay for me to share that photo, and if you took a before, because goddamn, she got a cool thing at the yard sales and cleaned it up, and that's fucking amazing. But yeah, this is old Famine gets ideas in his head, and this is what happens. Okay, so that's not. I mean, if I was comfortable with that and I didn't want the head to turn, I guess I could trim. All right. Yeah, that's fine. No, I forgot to get. I didn't get one either. So she got this. Kenny picked up this tarnished. I mean, this motherfucker was tarnished. Silver platter at the flea market today. Got it for a deal. I talked the guy down from 25 to 20 because that's what I do. And she polished that shit up. It was basically black. That's how tarnished it was. And she polished the ever loving out of that, and that's real silver, and that is beautiful. Great job. And there you go. You could see her with her dancing bear shirt on that she kept getting all the compliments on today from toying around with the Ewoks. That was great. I was so happy people loved that shirt today. All right. Damn, that thing came out clean. Okay, we'll get that off there. Once again, thank you to Bjorn for the TREATSs, for the DOGSs and the cat. And anybody else that does a super chat for it, again, they go to the cats and dogs for TREATSs. Or also, if you sign up for the Patreon, just let me know here in the chat and I will go ahead and hook them up. There we go. So that's the silhouette that it's going to have. I'm going to build up that neck with some material, but I am going to keep the pivot ability there. Pivot ability? Pivotability? Pivotness? There we go. Alright, okay. Gonna tap that in there a little bit. This is what we call a micro. Why I haven't said anything? Oh, because you've been busy. Okay. That's what we call a micro adjuster there, when you use something insanely large to do tiny little taps like that. I'm sitting there at Derek and I, my best friend Derek, we're working on his cabin. This was probably 5 or 6 years ago, and we needed something. He's like, "Hey, can you go get me the micro adjuster?" And I'm like, "What the hell are you saying, micro adjuster? I don't know what that is." And he's like, "The micro adjuster," and he's pointing, and I'm like, "Derek, what are you fucking pointing at, bro?" And he's like, "Right there." And he points, and I'm like, the sledgehammer? That's the only thing over there. He's like, "Yeah, micro adjuster." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Bring it over here, give me." And he literally, he's got to move this 2x6 like a fraction of a 16th of an inch, and he just takes this big sledgehammer and just puts the level on it, puts the square, okay, and just continues on like he didn't just use a sledgehammer to move that little 2x6 that way. I was dying, and I was like, man, from now on, that's all that'll ever be to me as a micro adjuster, or you do a micro adjustment with something big like that. All right, so it's gonna have to be one peg. I don't think this is the right size for it, this other one here. So what I'll do is I'll take that out, so that's gonna be there. All right, so I'm gonna build up around here with some glue and some tape. She does. She puts in the. Oh, it's Cowman's tail whacking on something. I'm like, what is that tapping? Red Foo asked yesterday, which is a really good question. He says, "Hey, Famine, why don't you do a better job at explaining things And I said, you know, don't come back to the show ever. No, I'm kidding. I said, basically, when I do things like build things in with glue, it's kind of like when people do clay sculptures and they back it in with foil so that they don't waste all kinds of material, because clay is expensive. And epoxy sculpt, well, it's not super expensive, it's also not cheap. So I thought to myself, okay, well, I'll go ahead here and I'll start backing these up with hot glue, which is cheap, which I can use. And so what I'm going to do here is we're going to put this, I'm going to measure this, but it's basically a green hose that I had from an old jump rope. Because let's be honest, guys, do I look like I jump rope? As my man boobs rest gently on the table. You might have the wrong guy here. Did I blame you? Yes, Red, sorry about that. Red messaged me this morning and asked me, and then I immediately got to it. So now, no, Red asked me this morning. He sent me a text message and said, hey, Famine, why you do? Instead of use epoxy and all that stuff. And I was like, well, I do it for that reason there. I, save on materials. And then immediately after I answered the question in the the video. So, doing here. This is a jump rope, like I said, and I'm just going to use the material on here to bulk out this neck peg to make it a little more sound. And then I'm going to fill in this spot here as I have some of this blue foam. Put that in there because that'll, like, the epoxy will stick to that really well. Send the chat. We had a chat separate, okay? Like, there was chats going on. Just chats. So what are you doing? Crazy dogs. You give them one treat and they go bananas. There you go. Maybe. You'd think all these years of using super glue, I'd have like a de facto super glue pin to punch this out. Can you not? Silly dog, can you just stay right out of there? Cowman? Trying to be a naughty boy? And again, thank you to Bjorn for that earlier. Speaking of upper duty. Oh, he said duty, guys. Alright, so let's put that super glue on the peg. Put that glue aside for a moment. And not only is that glue going to run into the hole there, even though there's hot glue there, it's going to allow me to slide this on here. It's going to sit fast. And then we'll take some of this blue foam. I'm also going to super glue that in place, I think. Because again, that's more material that I don't have to use glue on, or excuse me, clay on. Yeah, Mama Rosie's sitting there being such a good doggo because she was watching her son commit crimes. Yes, Cowman, you were committing crimes. All right, so gonna let that dry, but now we've got, this is what we're looking at. This is gonna be the position of there. I think I might make a ball peg for this guy, but like I think that's a good silhouette. Has the streamlined look that I want of the runner. It still keeps that crouched down gross look, like it's getting ready to attack, but also like this thing can, sit up straight and all of a sudden it'd be that ridiculously high. So that's cool. So we're going to work on this jaw now. I think the best bet for me, where are you? Is to clean up my workstation a little bit first, right? I talked about this where I'm trying my damnedest to get better at cleaning up my workstation as I go along. We don't need you now, so you can go move over. You survive until the next time. Maybe I'll make another one of these raptors. Who the fuck knows? But I did break another blade tip while I was cutting, so I am going to switch. Again, I say if I do snap a tip, I do change it out. But usually I just sharpen my blades, and I get a lot of use out of them. Saves money, and I know, like I think Red dropped it in the chat, it's $11.99 for a box of 100 or 200 or whatnot, but these were $3.50 for my previous job. And just out of being a cosplayer, when you cut EVA foam, believe it or not, EVA foam and also foam insulation board will dull your knives faster than anything. So most of us have sharpeners in our shops. I have like 2 or 3 of these, and I put the neon paracord on there because I lose them. Like I said, I've got like 3 or 4 of these. Fuck if I know where they are. I do know that I gave one away as a gift. But yeah, so I keep that on there, so I can just grab it. But let's, we're going to do a little carving, and I'm going to actually bring you guys down a little bit, so. How's that? How do we look? A little better? A little closer? Does it seem like it's closer? There we go. But I'm going to do a little whittling, and I take it off in thin, like you could damn near see through it, shavings. And I'm not so worried about keeping the detail that's on there because we can sculpt that all on later. We can take care of that on our own. So I don't feel too bad about mucking that up. And I want to get it as about level as I can. So like, that's telling me that this side needs to come down more. And that was my very rudimentary, like, place a flat thing across it and see if it's flat. That's not how you check for level, but I'm kit bashing and sculpting you know, a toy that doesn't exist right now. So unless I'm wrong, and Ant may be able to swing in and let me know if there is a Xenomorph Raptor toy. I know we've got rhinos, and apparently there was a T-Rex in the comics, which I never knew was in the comics. I thought that was just like something somebody was like, hey, T-Rex. And Bjorn, I do see you there. I'm glad that the storm has calmed down. Everybody seems okay. And I'm also going to open up the maw a little bit more here, because later we're going to want that space to attach the second mouth that the Xenomorphs have. And also I might put some more teeth in there too, you know, to really lean on the Velociraptor sharp, scary teethies. Because we've got this jaw set here. So that's going to get cut and put in there. Maybe I'll make it magnetic too. I think that'd be dope. Everything's fine. Everything's fine here now. How are you? Boring conversation anyway. That's probably my favorite joke in Star Wars. Right up there next to, I think my number 2 favorite joke from Star Wars has to be Poe at the beginning of The Force Awakens of, who talks first? Do I talk first? Do you talk first? It's just kind of hard to tell with all the apparatus. That fucking got me in the theater. I laughed so goddamn hard. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, you would believe it. You guys have seen me. I fucking am a character. Alright. So that's going to be there. So this is the kind of profile that I'm looking at. Right? I could try to make it articulate, but damn, does that sound hard. Do have to kind of get that cut there. Get that cut there. Could pin it. I thought about doing it like this, but that is way too much like a dolphin or an orca. But if I set it back far enough, crazy far back. What is your favorite line? Whip that out. Hi, guys. Now, I did just go to the old Google machine, to get some ideas here. And hi, Rosie. Hi, Stark. I got sharp things up here, little brother. So you guys stay down there for the time being. Let me go ahead and switch to. Yeah, I'll bring it over. Or do you want to see the profile of this here? Is like, and I could always build that out a little bit. The front with some clay, some epoxy, but I think that's just going to be too. Because of the rounded nose, it reminds me of an orca more than a raptor. But I'm going to share my screen here. This design right here is kind of like I purposely made sure that I didn't Google any dinosaur raptor thing. But like I do like this. And he put the things on there, and that's what I'm going to do with the shoulder blades. So that's tempting, but I don't want a direct copy off of that. I love the indents of the skull. Let's see. Yeah, see, that's a little more narrow. I do like that. That's more of a traditional head sculpt. These are really good pieces of artwork. I don't know what the French toast that is. That's cool. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That's just unsettling. There you go, Ant. That's funny, Bjorn. But yeah, that one's that one's funny. I like that, the raptor. That looks like something from an adult site. Lovecraftian xenomorph. Yeah, okay. Alright, so that makes sense. Ooh-wee. Ooh, you are a sexy critter. I like that a lot. I'm saving that image. Huh. Alright. I need to get back to my own world here before I focus in. You know, underbite. Yeah. The thing about the raptors in Jurassic Park is the bottom lip does protrude out a little bit further. I mean, granted, it's not going to close, but what I can do, I don't care about my drop box that I don't use. Are these the dragons of yore? Oh, I don't think they are. Put that there. Put that there. Use our handy dandy. Nope. Not that angle very well. What is this? Your first time doing this, Fannin? Was this the first time you're making an action figure from fucking two different species of figures that shouldn't even mash up together? I guess it is. There we go. Bottom lip out a bit. Yeah. So I get what you're saying. Now I get what you're saying. I'm picking up what the fuck you're putting down. She's back. Guys, she's back. Hide the hookers and cocaine. You and Bing, you and Bing should start a relationship together. Sorry, I don't know if you guys follow him on Facebook, 3.75 Deep Dive, but he does fantastic. He's a big 3.75 collector, obviously by the name. You should follow him there. He finds all kinds of stuff, and he found some capsule toys from gotcha machines. That's not what I want to do. But he found some really cool critters from capture machines, and I want to get them. And I will show you guys the picture. They're little froggy guys. Focus up. But the little frog robots, and then he puts them, like, he goes out of his way to show scaling. And there's a bunch of 3.75 figures with them. So I think those would be great droids. Who is that guy? Again, he's a collector on Facebook. But he if you do go out of your way to ask him, he provides links to the sellers and stuff where he finds things, and they're really cool. Dude, we can see your phone. That's fine. There's nothing critical on there aside from, you know, where I keep the drugs and the money. Now I'm gonna have to hide the drugs. Dick pics to myself. Yeah, that's Patreon. My Rhodian porn, I keep that in a folder specifically marked, look here if you want to see Rhodian porn. Alright, let's see. Yeah. Patreon exclusive. That's actually on my OnlyFans. More of a Gungan fetishist. That's funny. I feel like Gungan fetishist. Ooh, I think I found the silhouette I like. That looks fucking mean. Alright. How am I going to engineer this to open and close? Kind of like anglerfish. There's always a bigger fish. What was that noise about, Mr. Cow? No yelling. Knock it off. Wondering. Okay. Right, real quick, crack open a cold one. Hashtag not sponsored. That's the profile I like right there. So what I think I'll have to do here is take out those back teeth because they're in the way. Like right there, if the mouth was closed, add a couple of teeth. It's ugly and mean looking. I'm tilted that so you can't see it. There we go. That's fucking... I do like that. Alright, so we're gonna hog out this section here. And here's a question for you guys. One of the things that I've been doing is secretly, not so secretly, writing my world-building books. World-building book, I should say, my guide to world building. It's going to be a very inexpensive, essentially a pocket book, available for purchase this year sometime. When I'm doing a glossary of terms, like terms that people hear often in toy collecting and world building. When I say something like that, where I say like, oh, let's hog this out, do you know what I mean? To me, when I worked in aerospace, I heard it all the time. In construction, I've heard it sometimes when you're talking about making an opening. But like when I say that just off the cuff, do you guys follow what I mean? Or is that like, you know, you wait to see what I'm doing in order to figure out what I mean? Rat tail. Oh, wow, wow. I'm using this rat tail file because it's round. It helps make round divots when you sand with it. Rat tail rasp. Okay. Okay. I say file, you say rasp. File, rasp, file, rasp. Yeah. I think cleaning up with that is going to be better than trying to sand it all the way that way. So I've got a little health thing coming up here. Going to have a probable surgery on my arm. Should not take me out of the game for more than a day. But one of the things I'm hoping that it alleviates, because they discovered it wasn't a cardiac thing. Because I was like, man, my left arm keeps going numb for no fucking reason. And Yeah, my left arm just went numb. That's why that thing fell out of my hand. But apparently it's not a cardiac thing. It's probably got something to do with the cluster of whatever that's on my nerves in my arm. So that's fun. Go. What am I working on now, Bjorn? I am modifying the bottom jaw to sit the way I want it to, and then try and figure out how I'm going to articulate that jaw so it'll open and close. I think I can pin it. I think I can make it so that it opens and closes, but we'll see. Push comes to shove, it will remain open all the time. I have not worried about that one bit. I could probably make this head removable, but that's a little further down the line. Basically, right now I'm just trying to figure out a little bit of the mechanics as I remove material here of how I'm going to make this guy do what I want him to do without compromising the design that I've got going here in my mind. Oh, here's a free world building tip. Any type of art tip, project tip or whatever. Throw your consumables out, right? These things are $1 for like 30 of them at the dollar store. Now it's $1.25. Don't hold on to them forever. Throw them out when they're dirty. Like, there gets a point when they're so full of material from sanding and polishing that they just don't do anything, and you're wasting your time and energy sitting there going over the same spot over and over again. And I'm bad for that, and I've gotten a lot better, and I've learned to toss away my consumables. And one of the other things too is, if your family is supportive of your hobby and they're like, hey, what do you want for Christmas? What do you want for Easter? Is there anything you're looking for your birthday? And if there's not anything particular, you're kind of like, I really take care of myself, ask them for consumables. Say, hey, make an Amazon wish list or an Amazon cart, and say, hey, I am looking for these particular items. It would be great if you got them for me, because I go through them, and sometimes you'll get family members who go, oh, I don't want to get you that. That's blah blah blah. Like that to me, and I always say, like, that is one of those things that's really helpful in my hobby, and I would appreciate that. Okay, so all right. Yeah. All right. Basically, this is what I'm looking at. Opens up wide enough so that I can have the magnet in the second mouth. So I've got to come up with a backer there that attaches to that, and then I got to pin it in place. So I'm going to want something solid. I could sculpt something. Again, I'm trying to save on material until I get to that point, which might be tonight. I'm starting to feel pretty good about the progress we've made to the point where I'd be comfortable starting to sculpt. I want to put something there. Nope, that's a little skull. I wonder... do I have any... I do. Pardon me. Yeah. That's just big enough to be fucking annoying. Perfect. All right. Now, who says that sculpting needs to be only out of clay and epoxy and all that stuff? We're going to sculpt with some wood. We're going to whittle a little bit. We're going to sand. And then we're going to glue. Well, actually, we should technically glue it in first, but We'll get there. Famine, you have a saw. Why wouldn't you use the saw? Well, you know, I've committed to doing it this way now. Alright. So, to give you guys a little bit of what my plan is here. First of all, I'm going to finish sanding that to level that out. I'm going to sculpt this piece of dowel into basically blend in the radius of this guy's sculpt so that I can then attach this with a pin or something. Maybe I should attach the... So we're... even dumber or smarter, depending. Alright. So that's going to be there. Alright, what I'm going to do, since I overthinking with. Alright. As I said, I'm going to level this out. Okay. Cut that there. And what I plan to do here is cut that rod into 3 pieces after I drill all the way through them and create a channel down the middle. And that channel down the middle is going to allow me to split those guys up, glue 2 of them, one here, do all the sculpting that I need to do, and then when that's taken care of, I can fit the jaw to the middle piece, or maybe I put the center wheel in there first. I don't know. That much is true. I don't know. But let's there we go. So, I need to cut this or sand this flush first because we want a good straight line. That I can go all the way through, and I think I'll use my pin vise to drill the holes because I don't want to split it with the speed that the power drill has. Screw gun? Power wheels? Power Rangers? Boy, I can't wait until one day I have a proper workshop so I don't have to share all my tools in one spot and things like this where something gets mixed into the wrong spot and then I have to fight to find it. And I know you guys are like, Famine, that's probably the most organized we've ever seen you. And it's like, well, I used to have a workshop in the basement where I was a little more organized. Alright. So we're going to go with, I think, this thickness will do. I should put one of these in from my Amazon store, my Amazon link in here. Cannot recommend having a pin vise enough. This is probably one of the most handy tools that I've had in any sort of kit bashing or customizing, aside from an X-Acto blade and some patience, is the ability to drill out things by hand to get really exact paths and follow them all the way through. So let me just do this here. There we go. Let's do it from overhead. Doesn't require a lot of pressure or anything like that. And you can just go at your own speed, at your own patience. And because you're in control of the pressure, you'll know, especially on like finicky pieces, how close you are to like punching through your hand or anything like that. So just be careful. Want to watch an Alien movie, but I don't know which one. Honestly, Aliens is always a hit. That's one thing, is like Cameron, aside from the Avatar movies, I don't know what this dude's like hard on for that franchise is, but like his sequels do not miss. All right. And then I'll just come through the other way. So now I've got a hole drilled through all three pieces. Now what I can do, since I already scored those in, is I can just roll my knife along the groove. So hopefully pops right off. And then I'll sand them so I can make them as snug or as loose as I want afterwards. But there we go. Again, my left. I promise I'm not having a heart attack or anything. It's just literally. It's right there, the big one, the biggest one. I think this is the primary concern, and then there's another one up here on the back of my arm, but it's this one here, and anything hits that area, and I'm done for the day. But it's like right attached to everything. It's lovely. I think Kenny can attest to the times where I've accidentally whacked it or hit it on a door frame or whatever, and it's bad news bears. But yeah, I'll be working, and all of a sudden this arm will just be fucking useless. And especially when I'm working with a blade, like that's the last thing you want, is a hand that you can't. Shaw was Idris's character. You can tell how very, very infrequently I watch those. Covenant and Prometheus, I just yeah, I got feelings about those parts of the franchise myself. Alright. So now that I've got those off of there, do a little sanding. If we are talking about Idris Elba, oh, Shaw was a woman. Shaw was a woman. Was that who? You could tell how infrequently I watch those because, like, I'm not such a huge fan of those. I like David. I found David to be an extremely fascinating character. New me repeat. Did she die? That's how long it's been. For whatever reason, I can't remember that she passed. actually may go a little wider with those holes, because who doesn't love a wider hole? Yeah, I'm gonna go a little wider because I'm gonna use a toothpick as the peg. So we'll go the next bit up. Let's see. You're a wider hole. Yeah. I mean, we could have stopped at the Adult Depot, and I could have gotten my asshole blown out for 50 cents off, or 50% off. They had a big old sign out there. If you're driving down the road, could have had a much wider hole. Floppy hole, floppy, floppy. Oh wait, that's Floppy Joe's. Alright. Do you fit? Yes. Okay. Perfection. So one of the exterior holes, this is a trick I learned. Oh, I'm not laughing that your mom's dead, but I'm laughing. You get what I'm laughing at. Just the delivery of that. Mom's dead, no problem there. Once again, Super Glue and I have our annual fight. Mother Teresa, I'm about to go get a pin. But I don't want to get up. I don't want to leave my workstation. I don't like walking away from the workbench while I'm doing something important. I could use this as a fucking... That's too thin. Toothpick worked the last time. Why wouldn't it work again? Nice. We're gonna go ahead and put that right on the screen there for a hot minute. All right, here we go. So, putting just a dot of super glue there. Are you French toasting me right now? Like, why is this keep getting plugged up? There's got to be like a chunk blocking. Of course, once there it is. Yep. All right. So, take a second. Set that there as a stand. Nope, I just timbered over. Why won't you work for me? Nope. There we go. All right. Here's that roll of paper towels. There it is. Remember the knife lesson? You're asking me to remember less. Yeah, there is some. There's like a little goober there. Not Goober McGooberson. For anybody watching at home. All right. There we go. It takes care of that. So, put the dab of super glue on the thing that I'm doing. I let that soak into the wood. And then I just smooth it all on the edge. And that'll dry, and that's going to be stuck fast there. So now, I'm going to make sure did I do that in the wrong order of operations? I sure did. That's alright. I'll just make that the pin, essentially. Alright, so we're going to glue that in place there. So I'm going to just give this a little bit of tooth. That's going to satisfy me right there. Get the piece you need now to prevent further issues with future use. Yeah, that's why I cleaned the nozzle this time. But yeah, you ain't wrong. Okay. And this guy goes right here. You sit there. Now, this guy, establish the here. So that's going to get glued to that right there. So I like that for that. Okay. Here we are. Come on, set ya ho. We're just gonna back that up with a little bit more glue. I had a friend, a normie, I guess I would call them. I don't want to saturate that wood. That's a problem. So I'll do a drop-in method. A friend that's a normie, and they asked me, they said, hey, why do you live stream? Right? Why do you give away all that information for free? You could like put it up behind a paywall. You could do all that stuff. And I was like, yeah, I absolutely could. Thing is I don't want to. I do the Patreon because I have, goals and tiers and things for people that are on Patreon as a thank you for supporting me, and they help, provide supplies for the channel and things like that. You guys paid for this fancy webcam. But I don't want to gatekeep knowledge in that way, because it was kind of gate kept from me just by almost by myself. Like I almost prevented myself from learning this stuff because I thought there's no way, I have to go to school. And for some of this I did go to school, and that's something I'm going to pursue again this year. Is I'm probably going to do another year of the Stan Winston School. But I don't want other people to feel like doing artwork, creating your own things, like working on props, whatever it is. I don't want people to feel like it's kept away from them. Like somehow it's a club that they're not in. They can't get, they can't learn it. I never want somebody to have to feel like that, like I did, even though it was more or less me doing it to myself. So that's why I do this. I pass on everything I've learned. I don't have any super secrets that I keep to myself. You bitch. Alright, that one I did to myself. That's my fault. It's gonna have to be. But, so it's like, I understand why there are schools to teach you really, really nuanced stuff. And there's plenty that I don't know that I learned, but I actively seek out the information. And there's plenty of it out there, but there's also plenty of people that don't want to share the info. They don't want other people to get it for free. They think it's going to take away somehow value from their art, whatever they're doing, which to me is absolutely bonkers. I think it's silly. And I just want other people to be able to see that if somebody like myself can do it, who wasn't a student until recently, this is not the baking soda. That's a fine saying. Someone who's not a student until recently, if they can sit down and do it, if I can sit down and learn, where the heck is the baking soda? If they can sit down and learn it, they can sit down too. I want it to be available for people, and I want it to be taught to them by somebody who's not a teacher type. Like, I do not consider myself a teacher type, but I do enjoy passing information along, and I enjoy sharing it with you guys. Hopefully that makes sense. Like, there's a lot of skills out there that people can learn, but a lot of it's behind paywalls, or it's behind opportunity. Like, you know, people are like, oh, you know, maybe come work in this field for a little while and pick it up and you'll learn. It's like, sure, but what if you helped somebody out who's learning, right? What if you went out of your way to show somebody this thing and they could go on? And I could see if you got like a proprietary thing. If you Howdy, what's happening? No, it makes sense, and that's not a bad idea. I've considered editing these videos. I just have to figure out how to edit them through YouTube because I don't record them, which I guess maybe I should. But like I was saying, I want there to be tools for people like myself that are trying to learn and not feel like it's being kept from them by people that already do it. That's call him Ant. Don't ever call him late for dinner, though. And when I was first learning a lot of my art stuff, I was damn sure I was going to be paying a small fortune. Why won't you connect to that? What is it the two materials? Are you the wrong type of materials? Where's that baking soda so that I can make Bondo? Fuse these two together. But I just don't want people to ever feel like they're kept away from it like I felt like I was. And I had to go and seek it out. That's not conducive for artists. Especially, I think, I would say a good portion of us are older, right? I mean, I'm cruising towards my 40s. Towards my 40s, and I you know, it's harder to do the school thing, right? Like it's harder to be something to consider, especially for like a hobby. Like if it's a profession, like me personally, I'm trying to eventually turn live streaming and making content creation, whatever you want to call it, into a profession in the toy world. I think there's something there for us older makers and things like that, and that's it right there, right? Like, you know, don't have the time to go back to school. We've got a lot going on, but if we can sit and learn and share with each other these skills, we can all grow. And I'm all about like growth and wanting to help people and see them grow and see them learn. I'm like, this shit ain't rocket science either. And I know to some people it does feel like that, and I absolutely get it. But again, it's not that complex, and people, digital design did nothing in your degree. Yeah, that's the thing, is I learned quick, is most of my friends who, you know, I went right in, raggedy bitch. I went right into food. I went right into restaurants, worked in food service for 10 years, then went to aerospace, had some overlap between culinary and aerospace, and yeah, you want to know what I do now for a living? I talk on the fucking phone. Do you know what I do with all those skills that I learned in aerospace? Not much, but they have come in handy. But again, like, I don't want to go back to college in the traditional sense, so I'm going to art school. I'm doing character design and creature design, because that's the type of shit that I'm into. And this stuff ain't rocket science, and I want to share it and make it accessible to people. I want to make sure that people can get out there and do it. I want to see what people can create. I want to inspire. As corny as that sounds, like, oh, I want to be an inspiration. Hell yeah, I want to be an inspiration to people. I want them to think of the things that I'm doing for them and shoot popsicle sticks across the room. You know, I want them to consider that and be like, damn, I'm glad that famine person taught me this, because now I can share this bit of information with so-and-so and help them with this, or I can work on this thing that I've really been wanting to do, and now I'm feeling fucking froggy. I might leap and actually do this thing that I've been working on for, you know, wanting to work on for years. Like, that's the type of shit that I want people to associate with me, and not, you know, not be worried about, you know, do I have to go to school for this? Is anybody going to teach me this? You know, is this information that's somebody's going to share with me? Like, none of that. Like, I want you to come away from the things that I do and the things that I teach feeling empowered and feeling like, if this guy who I did not have fantastic grades in school, and yes, I know that grades from the streams. I swear to God, as God is my witness, I didn't know turkeys could fly. Overfat. And yes, I am in some freaky shit. That's for the OnlyFans. Thank you. But yeah, like, you know, I feel like I'm kind of like repeating myself here, but again, I just don't want people to walk away from anything feeling like, that's being kept from me. I can't know that, or, you know, oh, that's a lot of hard work. Like, yeah, some of this shit's hard work, but it's kind of repetition and kind of just having the balls to go, all right, I'm going to try it. Right? Like, just that thought of like, okay, here we go. You know, there's no need to be afraid, especially with the stuff that we do. Like, this is toys, right? This is hobbies. You know, some of you guys might even make this a business. Some of you guys might take something I teach you and turn around and make it a business, and that's awesome. I'm not here to stop you. Like, that's not that's nowhere in my thing to stop you, and being self-taught and learning is important, and just like having access to it, I think, is key. And there's not a lot of access to a lot of this stuff unless you go seeking it and learning it piece by piece. And I'm kind of putting the pieces together and sharing how I learned it and what nuances that I picked up as I've learned it and how it applies to the stuff that we're doing. You know, sure, I can use a little bit of my aerospace stuff because I learned to, you know, I learned how to work with metal, right? I learned a lot about working with metal, different metal types, how they respond, how they heat up, how they shrink, and all that stuff. I learned how to production spray paint. You know what that's done for me in my action figure career? It's done a lot, because I know now to lay out certain pieces. I know how to, protect and coat things, and I learned from that job. It doesn't apply to anything to my current job, but the knowledge is there. I pass the knowledge along when I can, and hopefully, someday down the line, you guys make something of it or help somebody out. Or why do I keep putting that on the wrong side? But, like, it's there. That's all I'm doing, just making sure it's there. Bitch. Okay. Alright, I gotta come up with a different attachment method here for this to the plastic. However, I do think we now have a working... Hell yeah, we got a working jaw. I've just got to attach these bad boys to this in such a way that they don't detach. So I think part of the problem is I cut this smooth and then I sanded it, and I don't think there's enough tooth or purchase for these pieces of wood to grab fast with this plastic. So what I'm doing here, you guys can see, is I'm using my X-Acto knife and I'm cutting grooves into the material. This is something I learned from cosplay in order to help the hot glue, if you use hot glue on foam, which I don't like to do, but some shit you just need to, or two-part contact cement, which I also learned from aerospace, is you want the surfaces to have something to bite onto. So here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to you're the one. Alright, I can cut this down now a little bit. Down, sand that, just to make it easier to insert. And yes, guess we are doing this. You just did that with your avatar with the epoxy sculpt. Hell yeah. That's what I like to see, man. He said semen. Okay. Kicker. Pop this out. Does not want to stay there. Doesn't help that I'm like jamming something through it. Giggity. But alright. New plan. Okay. So my new plan is to do basically what I just did with the tongue there, where I created a like material bonding piece. Does that make sense? I put in a piece of wood into that spot, just a little bit. Just a piece of toothpick, and I glued that in place. Because this is all shit I can go over in the future, and sculpt over and whatnot, but alright, so what we will do is we will take a drop of super glue into that little channel there. What we want, take this broken super glue or toothpick, and push that into there, and we'll let that set for a minute. Add a little super glue on the inside. Cut it flush, as flush as I can. Heads up. Send that toothpick flying. We're going to do the same on the other side. I appreciate you guys hanging out tonight, obviously, or I wouldn't be doing it. But, you know, sometimes people party on Saturday nights. Boy, that is not as deep as I thought it was. That's what she said. There we go. People with lives. Or people that, you know, are out partying Saturday nights. There we go. Okay. Cut that one too. Boop. Now, got 2 pieces of wood here that are like material that hopefully will now allow me to fucking Houdini my way into making this work. So let's get you off of here. Okay. Fingers crossed, boys and girls. Saturday night party, right? Yeah, you do, Bjorn. You hang out with us and you work. And you help take care of your grandfather. And that's fucking tremendous, man. Trust me. I, you know, helped take care of my grandfather too. I helped take care of my grandmother. It is a tremendous thing to do that for somebody. In my case, my grandparents literally saved my life, so it's the least I could do for them. Sometimes it irritates the shit out of me, because old people, I'm sure you know, can be irritating as fuck. But one day I will be old people too. So it's just my goal not to be irritating as fuck. Now we're gonna go. We're gonna fucking take this a little further. We're gonna pipe a little hot glue there. Just something. Just a little experiment here. That's all this is at the end of the day. I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. Yeah, and this is gonna have to be. This will be a delicate procedure. Alright. Are you bonded? Are you fully bonded to your symbiote, Eddie Brock? It's in there. Boom, boom. Okay, let me hear you say wayo. This fucker does not want to bite to that. Really? This is fascinating to me. Numa City? Or do you mean like pneumonia? Don't have any epoxy currently. I have epoxy sculpt, but I don't think for this. God damn. Alright. This is my Hail Mary here on this. Didn't work. Did not go the way I wanted it to, but curiosity's sake. Like, in my life, I've Numa. Okay. Like, in my life, and Numa sounds interesting. Like, that's a fascinating name. I'm curious about that. Is there any, like, particular lore around it, or is that just, like, a... something you know, pulled from the wild and you were like, yes? Think. Sort of. Okay. Leave that loose because I'm going to need it in a second. Okay. Which means, in theory, that should go there. That should go there. You bitch. I see what's gotta happen. think we can do this, boys. It's kind of on there now. That's a good thing. Alright, you're gonna go there. Let's pivot it a little. Alright. I think I more or less figured it out. Angle. Phonetically is Renuma. Take care of Malaya. Oh, okay. That's cool. That's really sweet, actually. Everybody make fun of Red for doing something kind. Ah, helping people out. Look at you, nerd. I'm kidding. Scoop up through there. Hey, have a great night. What up, Josh? Alright. You have a good night, Aunt. Thanks for coming for the stream. It's not blue. Alright. This is so, like, this is actually, like, interesting to me, why. Yeah, nothing, you know, we take care of people when we can. And some days it annoys the shit out of me, like I said, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, but that's what we do. This is where this piece has got to be cut. This is about to be an all or nothing shot here, guys. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna throw this fucker across the room. That's not true. Only a little true. You're a good man, Bjorn, like I said. Alright. Why are you sitting so... You are not sitting like that. Hi, Catman. You're very handsome, buddy. Oop. I know you smell. You know what? I'll throw a couple of bucks at the tip thing for you, buddies. Come here. Stark, sit down, buddy. Here, let's get you on camera. We'll do a little show. Come here. Here, Stark. Sit pretty. Sit pretty, Stark. Oh, what a good boy. Mama Rosie, sit. Oh, you're so beautiful. Mr. Cowman. Sit. There you go, handsome. All right. Here we go. Super glue there. Super glue there. Take this fucking thing. Bless you. You okay? Alright. Crooked, but I think I can work that out. All right. Fire. Don't do that with the fire like I did, please. Okay. So we're gonna do that right there. That's that trick. Let's change the tunes. Okay. Okay, that's that. That's that. Just a little pocket so the glue can get in there. I think I've almost got this figured out. I feel like it's my first day of doing any of this stuff, when in theory it's like not, but also is. Okay. All right. So this is the profile we got. I think that's pretty sick. So I'm letting that glue soak in, dry. Wondering if I should have like sanded that flat, but it appears to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. So I'm just going to put a little bit more glue on here to help it figure out what the fuck it's got to do to bond. I really wish I knew where my baking soda was. Okay. Again, that peg. Getting one more glue on it. Let it saturate the wood. Put that away for a while. Alright. We're getting somewhere. So I'm just going to let that sit. Let it sit. Let that glue dry, not fill with it. Maybe that's part of it too, is I know I get impatient. I try messing with shit. Wenzilla, what are you doing up at 11 o'clock on a Saturday night? You thought you were an old man these days. Let's build out this neck some more. I think we can use some of these broken fucking toothpicks here, since I got it floating around, just to add material. Hey, stop humping your brother. Lay down, cowman. I know he's in your favorite spot, but you do gotta share. Oh, fucked it up. Y'all see that? My fiddling around with this goddamn guy, I fucked it up a little bit. That's right. Once I get that epoxy on there, that bitch ain't going nowhere. But in the meantime, we like that on there. So let's continue work on the neck, the back, the dynasty, and the crack. Did I say dynasty? Yes, I did. Should I be allowed to make up words like that? No. My neck, my back, my dynasty, and my crack. Now, Famine, you could be using aluminum foil for this, just to fill it in. Yes, I could. Am I, though? No, I am not. And you say, well, why not, Famine? And I say, because I don't want to go get the aluminum foil. How about that? And you're like, good as reason as any. I'm like, hell yeah. And yes, I do talk to myself like this when you guys aren't on the stream. Okay. That's in there. I've never had wood like refuse to bond with super glue before in my fucking life. This is beyond me. I'm wondering if like, do toothpicks like get oiled or something? Is there like something I'm very clearly missing that I should know? And everybody at home is like screaming at the screen right now, like, Dummy, you should know they fucking saturate those things in canola oil so that they, you know, the germs don't soak into the toothpick. I'm over here just la la la. In there with another one. Just real quick. Here we see a bunch of messages come through. Fucker. That's great. And because you guys know me, and I'm a maverick, I don't play by the rules always. Realistically, I'm a rogue at best. Work. Because there's going to be a lot of sculpting on this bitch. Holding things in place. Put this around here. You know what? You don't want to hang out there. You can hang out there. How's that? I'll just keep that on there. what I'll probably wind up doing is I will probably gloss coat that in super glue, just to like make it almost like a cast, right? I'll allow that to bond up pretty good with whatever material I put on there, be it the epoxy sculpt or green stuff or more material before I do that, who knows. Here I'm just kind of backfilling this space, so what I'll do is I'll just roll it up. Working on the Arena of Amrak. Is that what it's called? The Arena of Amrak? Amrak and roll, baby. Y'all want to see something cute? Look at them puppies. The AOA. I like that. The Arena of Avocados. I'm over here struggling with the most I have with super glue in my entire life. Oh, we got it, boys. She works. Look at that. We have a articulated jaw. Fuck yeah. Alright, not gonna press it. I'm gonna let it continue to dry. Hell yeah, that's satisfying. Alright, that's right. I did this yesterday. And I was like, ooh, we'll put this on right here. So let's do that while we got glue out, we got fucking fire, we got disco sticks. Let's go. Right here, I'm just smoothing her out. Make it a little more convenient for the glue to bite. You know what I'm saying? Never delved deep into Alien Predators. Aliens takes place on Hadley's Hope, LV-424. So 424 or 426. Jesus Christ. So so April 26th is like been appointed as Alien Day. A little further. One more. Kind of like Star Wars is May the 4th. Like there's no... Fans just started doing it and it took off, and then the company was like, yes, May the 4th be with you. And if you're raised Catholic like I was, anytime you hear somebody say May the 4th be with you, you instinctually go, and also with you. Because church. Because they say, peace be with you, and also with you. We lift up our hearts. We lift them up to the Lord. We give thanks to the Lord our God. It's right to give him thanks and praise. Celebrated what, Bjorn? Alien Day or Red Squirrel's birthday? Star Wars Day. Are you going to share with us the reason why, or are you just going to fucking keep your secrets? Jesus Christ. Dude survives one tornado and all of a sudden he's fucking Johnny Secrets over there. Alright. So we're going to lay down the glue, bead of glue first. Oh yeah, that's reasonable. Like I said, because May the 4th be with you is, you know, synonymous with May the Force be with you, it just made it easy for everybody. And it's so marketable. Hell yeah. Get a little more super glue in there, there's a gap. Push that down, squeeze out. Okay. That's damn near fast. Set fast, so that's great. So now we're starting to get like that ridged bone structure. Now I'm just going to use super glue again to like bulk that out before, or super glue, hot glue, to come in here. All right, there we go. Hot glue to come in here, backfill to help it blend. That's all I had to do. I'll just snip that a little bit later. I'll do it now. There we go. Same on this side. Cool. And while I got it here, tab there, put this on. Make that nice and snug. And yes, that's me licking my finger to smooth out the hot glue, because I don't have any paint water here, which I would normally like probably dip my fingy in. Oh, see? If your finger isn't wet, the glue immediately grabs hold of it, so I just lick my finger and fucking Raptor. Oh, there will be a chest burster. What's going on, Adam? This gentleman right here is one of the main reasons that I still customize today and do Jurassic. Adam was the shit, still is the shit, even if he doesn't do customs now. And hell of a taxidermist. Adam and I have known each other since we were teens. Back on the dinosaur forums. For the Empire. For the dark times. Come on. A little cut. There we go. Perfect. So that's where we're at so far. I think I want to take the elbows off of this guy. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I will go ahead and fucking tear this arm apart so that I can use... Remember we were talking yesterday, guys, about, or people that are watching the Part 2 replay, when it plays, by the way, please subscribe, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill. You've heard it from every fucking YouTuber on the planet. However, analytics tell me that if I do say it, people will do it. So... we're talking about, like, I'm like, damn, I don't know where I want to put those vents. Oh shit, that broke off in there. Whatever, doesn't matter. And those vents were so big, blah 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 blah. What if I took these smaller elbow vents and quite literally just mounted them on here like that? So that's what I'm gonna do. Alright, so got that. Do a little sanding here. Actually, we'll have to push this out. Push! Come on, little one, push! There you go. You know, I insist on being here for the birth of every little creature on this island. That can't be possible. I mean, what about dinosaurs that breed in wild? Maybe. Maybe not. If I do put this on here, I want it to make sense, and I don't know. For whatever reason, on the big chap, the little elbow vents made sense, but I'm not feeling like on the Raptor's hindquarters, as it were. I don't feel like that makes total sense for it to be there on there. I think pull up all the dinosaur skirts. We simply denied them that. It's funny you mentioned that, Adam. I actually remember when Jurassic came out, and that was one of the critics' complaints about it in the newspaper, was that Malcolm mentioned going out and looking up the dinosaur skirts, and the guy was mad that there would be an implication that the dinosaurs had skirts on. And I'm like, my brother in Christ, it's a movie where there's fucking completely reanimated dinosaurs from genetics, and your concern is that there's an implication they would wear a skirt. It was like, I remember that same critic made a comment when Uma Thurman and fucking was in Batman, and they had their version of Bane, and the guy was like, oh, some type of like brain dead version of Bane, and you know, it's not even his name in the movie, his name is Djeep, and it turns out that that was actually the actor's name, and for whatever reason this idiot saw it in the credits and was like, oh, Bane. He didn't even see Bane, he just saw this guy's name and was like, made Bane this guy's name. It's like, what? Number one, what are you talking about? And number two, like, what the fuck are you talking about? There we go. He has to check the hatch on this. Let's go into the grinder. But I think that they like, the whole point though was like that they just genetically fucking deny them the right to be male or female. There's no grinder. That's the app that I use on weekends or on road trips when I'm away from my wife and kids. Alright, let's see here. Maybe we do it here. Yeah! I like that for that. And this is, again, just me taking the razor knife, scoring the surface a little bit so the super glue has purchase, has tooth. Put on there. Oh yeah, I guess it would help if this guy had some fucking purchase on it too. Some grooves. Some fucking scratches. I'm gonna sculpt around it anyway, but you get the point. You understand why it's important. Fair audience. Do the same over here. Although this over here has a little bit of glue that's got to go. Right. That's good. Let's get up, dropping super glue on the table. Because that's what heroes do. Yeah. Bitch, adhere. Sam, how do you ensure that your figure work works? Well, I yell at it and call it a bitch and tell it it's better to hear. Does that work? Well, it does not work. Alright, there we go. That joint. There we go. Come back and clear that up with a knife. You come back and clear that up with a knife later. We can dive on in. Yeah, so now we got some fucking vents on this bitch. We got a head sculpt that I'm happy with. Until I start modifying and fiddling with it. Look at him, I made an articulated jaw. Very happy with this. Made a jaw that moves. And then it's going to go on a little longer peg. But that's the critter we're working with here, guys. That's the look that we're getting. So I think we're gonna call it here for the night. Give my brain a little more time to rest. There will be a part 3 of the stream, likely on Tuesday, unless something, something changes with my plans tomorrow. Who knows? But I'm happy with that. We'll probably change the arms and the claws. And yeah, I appreciate you all tuning in. You guys made this hell of a lot more enjoyable than me working quietly in the dark here, muttering to myself and fucking grumbling and cursing the day that I decided to do this project. Bjorn, I appreciate the super chat. The dogs appreciate the super chat too. And Snowflake, when she wanders over and decides that she wants her treats, she will appreciate the super chat too. So I just want to thank you guys, and then here I am I'm like, I'm gonna wrap this up as I'm putting more fucking glue on there. As always, if you're new to the channel, go ahead, hit that like button if you felt like you enjoyed it and you learned something. You had a little good time there. Subscribe if you aren't already. I do this again. Normally I do it on Tuesdays, but we've had some free time this week, and I wanted to get some progress on this because I'm actually kind of enjoying the process of making this guy. It's been ages since I've ever done a really modified custom like this, but also I haven't packed up figures from another line to parse into this before I sculpted something. It's usually cut on it and then sculpt on it and call it a day. One last look. Yeah, give me 1 second. And we just continue plugging away on it. Do want to take this out? No, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Appreciate you being a patron and visiting, and it's the good stuff. So let me give you one last look here, and I always keep that bit in there for whatever reason. I don't know why. It's just something I always do. It's a touch of the tism there that makes me want to do that every single time, no matter what. Let's put that down. Put that up. Clean this up later. And you guys want a one last look, you see? So this is what we're going to be working with. That's going to be like that. And some type of nightmare, hellish creature coursing through the goddamn jungle and swamps or wherever. I don't know what this fucking planet has on it yet. But yeah, loving this thing. All right, you guys be well. As always, too sweet me. Boom. Thanks again, Bjorn. Bjorn, be safe if there's more storms. And yeah, I hope you guys have an excellent, what is it, Saturday night still? Saturday night. We'll see you Sunday. Be well. Thanks, guys.